Hello from a cold, windy day in Poolville, Texas on Thanksgiving. This is Tara Noel with Twisted Mesquite Performance Horses. We are doing a video today with Whiz. We're going to go over the 4 exercises we've been using this week. We'll see how she does today. Work through anything that may be a consequence of it being frigid out here. So we'll just get started. I've walked this horse around, warmed her up a little bit, and so now I'm going to get started on our rollbacks or rollbacks on the fence. This exercise here, kind of show you how to trot. We'll see. This exercise here is teaching these horses how to start getting on their butt, bringing their front end through the turn, how they shift their weight to their hind end, rock back, and come back through a turn. I'll let her trot. Now, if she wants to slope, we will. I'd rather her trot. If she goes to anticipating it like that, we'll go around another time. We'll kind of let this horse come around here. I want her to follow her nose. Put my outside leg on her. I want her to follow her nose around here. Come back through that turn. She's really figuring out how to stop. Come back through that turn. You know, she's putting a lot of extra effort in, kind of, you know, in these circles. Maybe kind of running off a little bit. But we'll kind of let her follow her nose right here. You know, the big thing, let this horse idle back down. You know, she can decide to get all anxious and worried about it. It's all she wants. It's her prerogative. She has a big move about her. That's a pretty neat little move. I could see that move being on the cow right there. She really got it in the ground. Stop. Get back through herself. You know, big thing with this horse is, you know, man, once she figures out she doesn't have to put so much extra effort in, she figure out how to idle herself down a little bit, she's gonna be super nice. She's very athletic, very talented, and it'll come with maturity. You know, that was a super nice stop right there. She rocked back and came back through there. I mean, she's getting very good at that. Very talented right there. As we spend more time riding her, getting her more broke, it'll just get better and better. Some horses we may have to, you know, encourage them to get around this circle a little bit more, encourage them to stop, get through that turn. But with her, you know, letting her stop and bringing her back through that turn, and then letting her slow down a little bit in this circle is what we're working on with her. We're going to stop here and see if we can get a trot. I like that stop right there. She let me stop her feet. We had to, you know, that's the big thing with this exercise here. You know, they get used to going around this circle. They get used to going at that high speed, at that lope. And you have to sometimes remind them, you know, it's kind of a balancing act. So if we're doing a lot of quick work like that, we're working at, you know, we're taking ground, we're moving forward, we may have to balance it with stopping this horse's feet and backing up, you know, just reminding this horse. So I could say it in a different way. You know, if you're doing a lot of forward motion and that horse is getting real forward, then we balance it by adding some work that is getting their feet moving, going backwards or side to side. So we just kind of let her walk around a second, and we'll just trot her around here. You know, I remind her about getting off my feet right here. Remind her about letting me control her. I like that right there. I like being able to slow this exercise down and be able to do it at a trot as well. You know, because even all your cow work, it's going to be done at a trot. If you're sorting or cutting, anything like that, you know, you're going to be doing it at a trot. So, you know, I want to be able to slow it down, do this exercise at a trot. As we go, we'll add a backup in there. You know, we can, as I said, we can stop, back up a couple steps, and then go around there. But this is just early on. I just want them to stop, turn into that fence, and go back the other way. So just teaching them the basics of it, and then we can refine it as we go. I want to stop and let them rest right here. I want her to stop straight, soften my hands. It's the same all the time. I want to remind them. Good. I don't want to get her too hot today. You know, I'd like to keep her pretty controlled. What I say there is, you know, the cool weather's good, in my opinion, for, you know, you can do more loping exercise rather than it when it's really hot. You know, your horse can get overly, just get his temperature up too high. And, you know, so the same thing when it's cool, you can spend some time loping that horse around. Well, when it's cold, I'd rather just, I don't want to get them too worked up. You know, it would do her good to do that exercise a bit longer at a lope. Just let her kind of work at it a little bit more. But at the same time, you know, she slowed back down. She let us work that exercise at a trot, and so we made some good improvement with her. You know, with these horses, we're teaching them exercises, but these exercises we're using in order to get to their mind. And so, you know, I want to be conscious of that as I work this horse and get those exercises to where, you know, I'm using them and putting them in order and using them to my benefit, to where we can say, I want to teach this horse, you know, a goal with this horse is teaching this horse how to take control of her mind, how to be able to rate herself back, not to, you know, I want her to think things through. And really that's the goal through with every horse, but especially with a horse that can tend to be reactive. You want to be able to teach that horse how to calm down, manage their own thoughts, be in a good frame of mind, and listen to what we're asking them to do. Okay, so that was the first exercise we've been working on. In order to improve that exercise, I'm going to be conscious of our circle right there, of conscious of how she's controlling, you know. So it's just like we were doing these smaller circles on the fence line at a trot, where I kind of want to start getting control of their body, make sure that, you know, she's getting off of my leg, she's actually coming around this circle rather than being more like a pencil around this circle. I want her to be, you know, I want her to round up and come around this circle between my legs, and I want it to be round and soft. And so, you know, I would like it to look more like that when we're doing those rollbacks on the fence, to where I can lope around this circle the same way and just have it be pretty round. I'm starting to get control of her with my feet. She's following her nose and allowing us to control her around that circle. And so that's going to be what we improve on going forward with that exercise. Number 2, we're working on is this vertical flexion at this trot. You know, we kind of started working on it a little bit last week in the circle. But this week, a lot of it, we're doing a lot more of it just on a straight line, to where, you know, this is a good thing for her, because, you know, you start adding some speed to her feet. You know, she has a tendency of wanting to get reactive about it. And so when we start teaching her, you know, we go through and we teach her these exercises to where she has to get soft to us at these quicker speeds. It's going to help her mind, where she figures out how to control herself. control her reactions. So I just pick up, she gets soft to me, put my feet on her, I pick up with my hands, she gets soft. Take her back, her going down the fence line again. And so this is something that we're just going to work on along. Right now, it's not something I'm going to work on too long at a time, but I do want her to get better every time we work on it. So what I mean by better, I would like it for her to stay at a good pace at this trot, so she's not trying to get faster, you know, she's not trying to speed up, she's not heavy on my hands, and she gets collected there, so she raises her back and brings that neck and that nose down, where she's getting into that athletic position, as I would call it, I would describe it, to where when this horse is in this athletic position, they'll stop with their, you know, they'll stop driving forward, you know, they will drive forward, they'll be able to stop and drive forward, and when you add the shoulder control we're working on, and we add the turnaround, and we add those things, where that we can get this horse into that and keep this horse into this athletic position, and be able to then bring that horse through a turn and get over there and stop that cow or work that cow. And even in our, you know, rein and work, where this horse has to be in an athletic position to have control of himself, so that we can guide that horse where we can guide that horse into position. Okay, so that's the second exercise to improve that. Like I said, we'll just continue working on it along. We'll just get better with it, keep improving. And that's just one of those exercises that we work along as we work this horse in that trot throughout her training. You know, it gets to where soon, you know what, you work on it and this horse gets soft and he trusts you and he's broke through his body, you know, and he gets really soft right here. It's where you just pick up on these reins and he stays in that athletic position longer and longer, and so you just pick him up and he just goes to that position, and you can go in there, step in there and work a cow, or you can go in there, step in there into the branding pen, and you can pick up that horse, and that horse stays right here. He's between your legs and your reins, and you can move that horse where he needs to be. Hey, so the third exercise, I'll get down here and come back for the video, but this third exercise is the start of our shoulder control. And so this horse has done pretty well with it. She started picking up on it pretty well, and it's maybe the more seem to be the more sensitive horses maybe kind of pick it up quicker. Now that they may move their shoulder over, they may move their body over in response to you putting your leg on them, but you have to be conscious of if they're soft or not, and if they're being soft. And so I'm gonna pick up on these reins, I'll put my inside leg on her, have her to step out, and then wait for her to get soft, and let her go. She did that really well. And so we'll do it again. Just pick these reins up, put my inside leg on her up towards her shoulder, and ask her to step her shoulder over. And I'm conscious of where my hands are. Once she moves her face and gets soft to me, I'm going to give back to her. And so I want to be conscious of that as I'm working through these exercises. I want to be thinking about where my foot is on her, but I also want to be conscious of her face. When she softens to me, I want to give back to her to a little, to a point, and that encourages that softness through our exercises here, rather than getting stiff on these stiff on these reins while I'm trying to do all this stuff with her. I want to be soft and work my hands as she gets soft to me. And so we'll do it both directions. So that was really good. She's picked up on this very quickly. I want to get her a little better with it at a walk, be able to make sure that we're good here, we're soft. She's getting soft, she's not worried about that exercise, worried about me putting my feet on her right there. And then as we progress, get to that point, then I'll add some speed to it and be able to work on that at a trot. Or we can do the same at that trot. Again, okay, I'm working a cow right here. Well, I need to be able to pick this shoulder up right here. I need to be able to stop. And so all of these things here, we're piecing these different exercises together. Okay, now I can back up. Shortly, we're gonna have we're gonna be working on this shoulder control a lot more with her. So this is the beginning of it. First, okay, so I'm teaching her how to move off of my leg and pick that shoulder up here and get this cat out of the way, and you pick that shoulder up, and then shortly we'll add it to where, okay, now I want you to move this shoulder over, go in this other direction. And we just slowly build on this stuff and slowly put all these pieces together, teach these horses how to move their bodies in these different steps in order to get a horse that we can control through our hands, through our feet, through our seat, and produce the horse that we're looking to produce. So that's the third exercise we're working on. She's done really well. Now, so we're adding onto what we were working on last week, where we disengage this hip right here, and have her stop right here. Now we're adding to it, and this is the start of our side pass. So we disengage our hip, have her get on this fence line, put my leg to her rib cage, and have her step across. And so we're teaching this horse how to side pass right here, using our foot right in the middle of the rib cage and asking her to step over. Ideally, with like her, she's to a point to where I don't have to move her hip over to start that move. I can just go ahead and ask her, get her to the fence line and ask her with my foot, and we can continue on right there. But if a horse was a little slower about understanding that exercise, then we may sit here and kick our hip over and have them disengage, or have them side pass a bit more until they got better with it, till they understood completely. And then we just start from a standstill right here. Now, if I want her to side pass, I want her to side pass pretty straight. So if she goes to moving her hip or her shoulders, out of tune, I might just kind of reach up or reach back and kind of push that shoulder over or push that hip over and get her straight coming across here. So she told me right there that she could use a bit more of this right here, where I start this move from disengaging her hip, and then ask her to step over side pass, because she was a little confused right there when I just started from a standstill. And so in order to improve this exercise here, where are we taking it? Well, my next step is to get to where she doesn't need me to start with momentum. What do I mean? So we have momentum right here, and then we ask her to step over. Now, when she's sitting right here. She's still. She's got her feet. Her feet are still. Now, when I can put my feet on her and her still move over consistently every time, then that's our next step. That's our next goal, to get to that point. And then once she's doing that well, then we can start working on doing it out here in the middle of the arena, to where you have control of this horse right there in the middle of the arena, and you can ask her to start side passing. And then at that point, you're pretty good to be able to open gates, side pass up to the trailer, even in your cow work, to when you can pick that horse's shoulder up and move that horse's whole body, and keeping them framed up, keeping them in position, but be able to move their whole body over in order to add some space between you and that cow, and then making your turn. And so, all these things, all these parts, once we have them on this horse, we can use all of that to our advantage in order to help a horse understand the discipline that horse is going into, whether it be cow work, whether it be ranch work, whether it be the rein-in pen, whether you're going to go rope on this horse, team rope on this horse, whatever it is. When you have control of this horse throughout his 5 major body parts, you can put that horse where you need to be, and you can train him and pattern that horse to do the job that you need him to do going forward. So today, that'll be our review with Whiz. She did really well. I was impressed. We started off in a good, calm manner. We're going to kind of walk her around, let her cool off a little bit. Overall, I think she's improving and figuring a lot of things out. She's really starting to get nice and broke. So that'll be our review for today. See you on the next one.